welcome to Hot Off the List. I'm Mr. Jonathan, and I'm here today with Miss Michelle, and we have a special guest. Christina Diaz Gonzalez is the Edgar Award-winning author of several books, including The Red Umbrella, A Thunderous Whisper, and Moving Target. She has two new books available this year, Invisible, a graphic novel which comes out in August, and The Bluest Sky, a historical fiction novel available in September. Today, we've invited her to discuss her middle grade thriller, Concealed, which introduces us to a girl with no name whose family is in the witness protection program. But when a picture of her father gets posted on social media, the family's cover and its secrets will be exposed. Hi, Christina.
Hello, Jonathan. Hi, Michelle.
Thank you for being here. So Concealed is on the Sunshine State Young Reader Award list for the 6-8 list. And my first question is always, what does it feel like when you find out that your book is on the Florida list?
Well, being a Florida author, it's an extra special feeling of excitement, honor, just everything wrapped up in one when you find out, because you know that the book is going to reach the people it's intended to reach. It's the people I wrote the book for. It's those readers in schools that are excited about perhaps approaching a book that they weren't aware of. And I think that's what the list does. It has so many varieties of books on there that it exposes students to different genres, all quality books, and to be recognized that for one of my books, The Librarians, that I love, to have it selected is just a huge honor.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
So let's dive into talking about Concealed. So most books start with a small seed of an idea and eventually stews until the author feels like they can work that idea into a full book. Can you remember that first little seed that brought you to Concealed?
Yeah, it's funny how you call it a seed, because that is how I often refer to it. It's just a tiny little nugget of information that I find interesting. And oftentimes I don't know that that little tidbit of information, a little factoid, is going to become a book. But I somehow just implants itself somewhere in my head and in my brain. It starts marinating into an idea. And for me, without giving away the big reveal of the book, I read a news story about an event that had happened somewhere in the world, and I found it really interesting. And I just thought, well, that's unusual. That would be an interesting story, but I wasn't planning on writing about it. And then at the time, it was before the pandemic, I would oftentimes sit at either Panera or Starbucks, writing, having my coffee. And an idea came to me about a girl just going up to the counter and ordering a coffee. And when they asked her name, for a moment, she doesn't remember what her name is. And that's where I started thinking, well, why wouldn't she remember? And then I started thinking, well, maybe because she's constantly having to change her names. And why would that be? And the idea of, being in witness protection came up. And all of a sudden I was like, this is it. This is a great idea, a girl in witness protection program. But it turns out that's one other layer of lies that she's living. Her parents are lying to her as well. She's not only telling the lies, she's living a lie. And then that little nugget of information that was somewhere in the back of my brain said, and this is why. And it all came together, and that's how the book was born.
Oh, I love that. So there are so many twists and turns in this novel. And I'm wondering, did you have all of those plotted from the very beginning? Or as you were writing, were there some things that surprised even you?
Okay, so I am horrible at plotting every detail or doing an outline. Authors usually refer to themselves as either plotters or pantsers. Pantsers being those who write by the seat of their pants, and I am definitely one of those. I have a vague understanding of my book. I usually say it's kind of like a commercial or the book trailer. It's just certain big plot points of the story are in my head. But how to get there or how to get to that ending, I have no idea until I'm writing. So as I'm writing, I'm also the very first reader. So I am someone who loves twists and turns. And even when I'm watching a movie, I try to predict, oh, that's the bad guy. This is what's going to happen next. And so as the writer, I try to surprise the reader side of me. So as I'm writing, the reader's side of me is saying, oh, this is what's going to happen next. And then I have to say, aha, no, this is the surprise. But I always go back to make sure that the clues were there. So it's not a coming out of left field, a surprise. The clues were there, you just weren't aware of them.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. So the action scenes were very precisely written. How did you work that out while you were writing? Was it all in your head? Were you moving around imagining the story? Did you actually, go take lessons? Like, how did that all work out?
No, definitely didn't take any lessons. Didn't try to fight any assassins or anything like that. But I do visualize. I am a visual learner. So I often have to see something in order to really kind of grasp the concept. And as I'm writing a book, I'm seeing it as a movie in my head. So what I'm trying to do is grab those images and describe them with words, what I'm seeing. And oftentimes it'll be funny because I might be typing and I'll pause and I'll be like, oh, like, oh, it would be like that, like a right punch. Okay, then I'll go back and I'll, but I have to visualize it in my head and sometimes a little bit of acting out.
Now I want to go to your Panera and see if you're in there like,
Oftentimes it's really, really small, like just like, and then I do a lot of muttering. So people, I even started like putting like one of the little earbuds in so that people would think I'm talking to someone because I'll be like, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good.
So do you think you'll ever revisit Katrina's story for a sequel?
I had not planned on it. I often say never, because you don't know. Something similar, you referenced the Bluest Sky right there, that comes out in September. Well, it's not a sequel, but it's tied to my first book, The Red Umbrella, which was written 12 years ago. And now The Bluest Sky takes place also in Cuba, but it's 20 years later. And one of the characters, not one of the main characters from The Red Umbrella, but there is a character from The Red Umbrella who now appears in The Bluest Sky and is 20 years older. So it's interesting because it's not a sequel, but it's tied in. So you never know what's going to happen with Concealed. Maybe there'll be a tie-in. Hopefully it wouldn't take 12 years though.
So I know that in addition to The Bluest Sky coming out in September, you also have Invisible, written by you and illustrated by Gabriella Epstein.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about this book that's coming out from Scholastic?
Yes, it's from Scholastic Graphics. It's a graphic novel. It's almost like a takeoff on The Breakfast Club. It's 5 kids, each one very different from the other. You have the brain, the athlete, the tough kid, the rich kid, the loner, and they only see each other's differences. Yet the world really only sees them the same as 5 Spanish-speaking kids. That's what they see. And they not only see each other's differences by their attributes being the brain and the athlete, they're also from 5 different countries. And they have different levels of English and Spanish fluency. So while they only see their differences, world sees them as the same. And then something happens. They're grouped together. They have to perform these voluntary community service hours for their school because the principal wants to win an award. And all of a sudden they meet someone that needs their help, and they each carry a secret that they have to decide whether it's worth risking that secret coming out in order to help this person, or is it better just to be invisible as they're currently saying. And it's that decision that changes their lives. And in the end, they see their commonality while the world now sees their individuality. So that's the concept. The book is also almost fully bilingual because 3 of the kids are ESOL kids. So they don't speak any English. And so while they're telling their portion of the story, the Spanish teacher is in the room translating it because they're being questioned about this event from the very get-go.
Oh, I'm sold. I love graphic novels.
It's
I do too.
really,
I do too.
it's a really great story. I actually have a copy in my office, Jonathan. I will happily share it with you. And it did already win or earn 1 star for the book, which is very awesome. It's booklist starred, so that's very exciting. So I hope that our students in Florida, after they read Concealed, they pick up Invisible. And keep reading all of those great books that Christina Gonzalez has out for us in Florida, including also The Red Umbrella is one of our is one of our best standard titles in the 7th grade. So there's just a multitude of titles that kids can relate to with Christina's, but on that Sunshine State list, I hope that they pick up Concealed and read it for fun. Is there anything fun or exciting that you are reading right now?
Ooh, that I'm reading right now. Oh, I'm actually reading a graphic novel called The Tryout by Christina Diaz.
Oh, we interviewed her last year too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Christina's 2 year in a row.
That's right. Christina squared.
So yes, I'm currently reading her graphic novel, which is about her. It's a memoir. It's about her trying out for cheerleader in 7th grade.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also wanted you to play a game today. And I heard that after moving to the United States, you learned English in part from watching Sesame Street. Is that correct?
Yes and no. I didn't move to the US. I actually was born here. So I was born in Florida. I was born in North Florida in a really small southern town called Perry, Florida. And my parents made the decision, though, to not teach me English until I started school to make sure that I would know both languages fluently. So
that's really smart.
Yeah.
I love that.
Smart people.
So in honor of your televised English teacher, we will be playing a game.
Oh no.
Called Can You Tell Me How to Get These Trivia Questions? And it is Sesame Street Trivia.
Oh. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Don't worry, Michelle has never.
Michelle, I know this came from Michelle. Look at her laughing and laughing. I know you, Michelle. I know.
I don't know the questions.
Oh, Michelle.
Michelle has never heard these questions either.
I don't know the questions.
I think the fix is in. The fix is in.
I pinky swear I do not know the questions, but I did suggest that you had some really great that you did learn English by watching Sesame Street and listening to Maria on Sesame Street, which so many of us loved Maria growing up. So I thought that would be a great connection.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Your job is to answer the trivia questions. Neither of you have heard these questions. Okay. So here we go.
Oh, wait, do we have to raise our hand or how do we?
We shout it out.
Both just take a guess. You'll be all right.
Okay.
All right, this character is over 8 feet tall and has a teddy bear. Yes.
Told you I'm competitive.
I know, I was waiting. I was going to go with Snuffleupagus.
Well, she's 8. Come on.
Okay.
All right.
Christina's got one.
Number 2. Dorothy is the pet goldfish of this lovable monster. No.
Keep going.
That was once just an extra red puppet lying around the set.
Elmo?
Elmo.
Elmo. I knew it started with an
Yes.
E. Elmo.
All right.
Good job.
Christina 2, Michelle 0. If we were
0.
keeping score, we're not. It's fine.
We're
It's fine.
keeping score. It's fine. I will never live this down.
All right. Question number 3. This big brown elephant is Big Bird's.
Snuffleupagus.
Oh my goodness. She was not kidding about Sesame
I'm
Street.
saying. You
Ah.
did learn.
I play late night library games every year. I know what it's like.
All right. So 3 for Christina. Mr. Snuffleupagus was the correct answer. Question number 4. This character was introduced in 1972 to teach children basic mathematics.
Count,
But
the count.
yes, that's correct. And did you know that at first children were very scared of him?
I can see that.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
little creepy.
With all the lightning.
The
you know,
count.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa. Yeah.
Question number 5. Ernie loves this toy so much that he even sings
Rubber
about
ducky.
it.
Rubber ducky.
Yes.
you're the one.
All right.
You make that time
Christina
lots of
4,
fun.
Michelle 1.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is Grover's hero alter ego. But
Super
please-
Grover.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Totally
Yes,
Super Grover.
Super Grover. All right, Michelle, I'm afraid this game
I've
goes to
lost.
Christina. 5-1. Nicely played.
Very good, Christina. Very good.
I warned you, I'm a little competitive.
You weren't kidding. Thank you so much. Great round. And also for everybody watching at home or at school, if you haven't read Concealed yet, it is a great book. You're going to love it if you love twists and turns and secret identities and family secrets. Pick it up. It's Concealed by Christina Diaz Gonzalez. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.